is great to be with you today. Back in my office, tuning in. Thank you for watching Wednesday's Word. We hope that these have been a blessing to you. I want to talk to you today about really the book of James, something that I started studying a while ago with some friends. COVID hit, and we haven't been able to, we started up recently on finishing up through James chapter 5. I want to share with you some scriptures and a couple of thoughts. James chapter 5, verse 1, it says, "Now listen, you rich people, weep and wail because of the misery that is coming on you. Your wealth is rotted, and moths have eaten your clothes. Your gold and silver are corroded. Their corrosion will testify against you and eat your flesh like fire. You have hoarded wealth in the last days. Look, the wages you failed to pay the workers who mowed your fields are crying out against you. The cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord Almighty." That's important. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. "You have lived on earth in luxury and self-indulgence. You have fattened yourselves in the day of slaughter. You have condemned and murdered the innocent one who was not opposing you." That's a lot to unpack, but I want to focus specifically on a couple of things. Where at the end of verse 4, it says Lord Almighty. In some translations, it would be Lord of hosts, or really the original translation probably is closer to Lord of armies, a God who is in power, who is all powerful, who is in control, and who really sees everything that's going on, and one day that we're going to stand accountable for our words and our actions and our deeds on this side of heaven. Like he is powerful, but we are used to living in the lap of luxury and self-indulgence, which sometimes honestly makes us maybe not able to see what's going on in the world around us. So we want to acknowledge the pervasive racism that we are seeing right now in our culture, and we want to repent from that. Even personally, we want to repent and pray on behalf of our nation. Something that I've been doing a lot of and thinking a lot about is just my share of the task in this and what that looks like. And our life will not escape God's notice. And so wherever we think we are in our relationship, and maybe even just how we treat other people, I think we need to revise. We need to look inside and take stock of where I am, maybe how I've treated people in the past, maybe my view towards people that I'm maybe not as familiar with or haven't spent as much time around. And I've really, in my heart and with some friends, been grieving what's going on and praying for our society. So just kind of being there with people as best we can. We live in the lap of luxury and indulgence, and it's very easy to look past the injustices that are occurring right now, and really that has been brought to the forefront with the death of George Floyd, the video that was released, and really other things that have even happened since then. We see a great unrest in our community. I think we need to look at ourselves and figure out what that looks like for each of us. That makes us kind of moved ahead to James chapter 5, verse 9. It says, "Don't grumble against one another, brothers and sisters, or you will be judged. The judge is standing at the door." It's really easy in times of suffering and injustice and difficulty to grumble and to complain and to think maybe ill of, or to be really less loving, when what the world needs is for us to be more loving. And not just lovey-dovey according to what somebody on TV might say, but I mean actual love of Jesus Christ, of somebody who is a sinner yet saved and looking out to reach into the world. You know, it's interesting. I had the chance to be with some family recently, and they have a palm tree in their backyard, which I noticed that a couple of the leaves were turning brown, and I looked kind of like the tree was ultimately on the beginning stages of not going to make it very long. And they had somebody, an arborist, come out and check it out. And there were two things that really stood out to how they were going to fix this tree. And I thought this would speak a lot to each of us. They were going to seal the gap. There was a cut, there was a fracture, there was a fissure, and they needed to seal that gap so nothing else could come in. I think we need to be willing to do that personally. And then in our neighborhoods and our communities, and again, reaching out to people that maybe we haven't reached out to in a while to seal that up. And to maybe stand in the gap on behalf of somebody else that's experiencing something that they should not experience and that is not okay, and maybe is a great injustice, that we can be there for them and with them. The other thing is, he wanted to look at the foundation and drill 4 holes around the tree and give it some nutrients and some plies and some protection. And what better time to do that now is to take stock of where I'm at, maybe thoughts that I've had in the past, maybe places and things that I've seen and said. And I think we can really look deep inside and say, okay, Lord, would you expose the sin in me? Would you expose even hatred that I might have that I didn't know existed for somebody that's different than me? And would you lay that out for me and help me heal and fix my foundation and get that strong? Would you, Lord, make sure that I'm attached to the vine of Jesus, that I can live through the overflow and abiding relationship with him to go and to make a difference in this world. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of what we're doing as a church during this time. And I just hope you have a very blessed week. God bless.